Street, how's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know what it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. Hey guys, it is December 8th, and something big's happening tomorrow on December 9th, and that's why this guest is here today, because brand new album coming out on December 9th, 2022, and wait, it's right before the musical, musical industry shutdown. Is it a smart idea? Well, I think so, and we talk about it on this podcast, and we talk about something else like the biggest tour of the freaking year. Oh yeah, so before we jump into that, I want to thank our sponsor of this podcast. So first, Phoenix Fitness. Guys, you know that I keep myself in mosh pit shape, so what does that mean? You guys know that when I go in shows, I go to mosh pits, and I'm like, I must be in here all of the time. I must not stop. So I got to be in there. I got to be strong enough to withstand all those mosh pits, and I got to be able to have the endurance to not leave and just be like, I still got this. Am I still trying to live like I'm 21? No, I'm just trying to live like I'm 28 now. Shit. But I'm still trying to live like I can, and that's my fun thing to do, so I'm going to keep on doing it. And what do? I always hit the gym. I'm always lifting, doing a bunch of cardio, run like 10 miles or biking like 25 miles. I'm doing all that stuff like crazy. But I need to make sure I prepare and recover right, as long as that's where Phoenix Fitness comes in to help keep me in mosh pit in shape. Oh, yeah. They have many different supplements to help you achieve your fitness goals or get in a mosh pit in shape like me. I recommend either their protein. There's plenty of different blends for you. If you're plant-based, collagen-style protein, I use their whey protein, and I also use their stim-free pre-workout as well. So go achieve your fitness goals and help get that support to get in mosh pit shape like me. Yeah, okay, that was weird. So here's what you're gonna do: go to fnxfit.com, link to the podcast, and whatever you get, use the code CPP20 to get 20% off your entire order. That's CPP20. Link to the podcast. Thank you, FNX Fitness. Now, time for our feature presentation. 1,000 Below is releasing their brand new album, Hell Finds You Everywhere, on December 9th. I actually wanted to get 1,000 Below on the podcast back in 2020, but I got no. It might have been too small at that point, but that was 260 episodes ago. Now, yeah, we are still rolling with it at episode 361, and 1,000 Below is on the podcast with us. So on this episode, we get to talk to James about what it's like to be on tour with Bad Omens, Dayseeker, and Make Them Suffer in the Concrete Jungle tour. We get to go into Hell Finds You Everywhere, which includes production from Noah Sebastian of Bad Omens. It has a song featuring Noah Sebastian, featuring our friend Matt Flood from Caskets, and the final song in the record, All I Have Left to Give, James calls the quintessential 1,000 Below song. And we also talk about, again, why this album being released on December 9th actually makes a lot of sense for these guys, and makes a strong case as to this could be one of the best albums of the year and be in the minds for people going into 2023. So sit back, relax, get your popcorn ready. Let's welcome James from 1,000 Below, the Chord Progression Podcast. Are you ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. I remember trying to bring this band to the podcast 2 years ago, but I don't know what happened. I was probably a little bit too small back then, but now it's 2 years later, and boom, we are right here at it again. This band is currently on a tour through the concrete jungle with Bad Omens, Dayseeker, and Make Them Suffer. And if you know anything about that tour right now, the whole entire thing sold out before the thing even got started. So this is a massive thing. And the band is coming out with their brand new album, the third album they've ever released, Hell Finds You Everywhere, on December 9th. And let's just talk all about it. So please welcome James from 1,000 Below, the podcast. So James, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
What is up, my man?
Man, everything is going well. How is everything going in your world as you're still, you're doing this literally on the road? So once again, thank you. But how has everything going on this tour, man? Because it's huge. It's gigantic.
As of today, everything's very good. We did all get sick last week. We got the flu, so that literally was the worst thing in the entire world. But I've kind of bounced back. So we're doing good. The tour is obviously slamming. Bad Omens is the biggest band in the entire world, and and it's just we're playing to a massive crowd that is very excited to be in the room every night. The energy is just, I don't know, it's crazy. It's nuts.
And that's kind of what I was hoping to hear and what I was expecting to hear too, just seeing what other people have said about the tour on top of that. You have Bad Omens, who is just absolutely killing it right now with everything they've done in 2022. You have Dayseeker, which put out an album right at the beginning of the tour, so that's another huge draw. Make Them Suffer coming over from Australia to add to it. And then you guys opening on it as well. It's just, I still remember when the whole entire announcement dropped, it was, this tour very well might sell out everywhere. So if you want to get your ticket, you had to get it literally at the moment you saw it, otherwise you might have been screwed.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. It's kind of funny, like, when everything got announced, like most of the people at these shows like have never heard of our band. It's like all the people that did want to come see us just did not expect that to happen. I guess they didn't expect the whole thing to sell out that fast, and so there's like, it's like we're not even playing to anyone that like knows about our band. It's which is great. It's fucking awesome. Obviously, like it's just promotion and exposure, all the good stuff. But actually, last night there was like a chunk of people, like thousand below people in like the pit that were was like very evidently excited for us. But there's been a lot of nights where it's just been like everyone in the crowd, you can tell like no one knows who we are, which is again amazing. Like it's good stuff.
Yeah,
So
because it gives you a wide open opportunity to just show off the band and show off who you guys are to a brand new crop of people, to a sold out room every single night. And of course, we know what Bad Omens is going to bring to the table. We
yeah.
know what Dayseeker is going to bring to the table. We know Meg Themself is going to go absolutely bonkers heavy and make that energy go through the roof. So you guys get to open that whole entire thing up and get everyone amped
Yeah.
up and ready for it and start the show off on such a strong note.
Yeah, it's which again, like sometimes that is tough, like when people are, because with these shows being this big and like Bad Omens being on like big band pop star status, they have that whole like fans waiting outside in line for like 4 hours before the show. People are there for VIP. So a lot of times, like when people get in there, they're like, you can kind of tell like the first like few hundred people in the venue, they're kind of spent. Like they've been waiting all day. Like the past few days, it's been ice fucking cold outside, and you can see people that are outside in like blankets and stuff waiting to be like the first people in the show, which is just like, it's insane to me, you know what I mean, just seeing that. But obviously, like, those bands are that big, they're pulling that type of crowd. It's just like, but yeah, but there's been a couple nights where like the second we went on stage it was just like bang, energy pops, but sometimes it takes a couple songs to get them going, get them moving.
Yeah, but the fact that you have that awareness of that, so that when no matter what style the show is going to be, whether it's, you start out there and the energy is right there, or you start out and you need to build up that energy during your set, you already have that aware and you have that idea of what you need to do, so that by the time your set is over, everyone's still amped up for the rest of the show, but everyone's thinking, damn, I need to listen to more Thousand Below after this. Holy shit.
Yeah. No, we have like this is something that like I don't always pay attention to this on tour because obviously like social media metrics isn't like 100% indicative of how your band is doing or whatever. But I can literally like every show that we play on this tour, I can like go on our Instagram and just like pop it open and see like 100+ people follow us on Instagram like 30 minutes after we play. That's like that means those are people that were in the room, and that's like an insane number. You know what I mean? Like obviously like you can go play a show, usually play to like 500 people or something. A handful of people already know who you are. Some people are already connected, and then even what's the number of like conversion of like a fan that actually is going to like consume your media content and pay attention to the stuff they're putting out. But just yeah, some of the shows like I'll pop up on Instagram like, we play 6:30 every night. Some nights it's pushed back to like 6:45 or 7 or whatever, but I'll like check our band's Instagram at like 8:30 and just see like 100+ new followers. I'm like, cool, that's like 100 people that either like found out about Thousand Below tonight, or at least were reminded enough to the point, or sold enough to the point to be like, God damn, I want updates on this, and pull out their phone, and you know what I mean? Like, and not of saying like every Instagram follower is someone who's going to buy a record, but it's at least someone who's going to be reminded that you exist every time you post something. So
Yeah, and when they see those posts pop up again from you guys, they're gonna be reminded of them seeing you at that show. They remind you of like the Concrete Jungle tour,
yeah,
and there's gonna be something that clicks in there. So all of a sudden, when the new album drops, like, oh shoot, they dropped a new album. Now I want to go listen to it because I want to
yeah,
see what else they put out there and just see what else comes up there. But the thing that stands out the most when you're saying like it's an average of 100 extra followers within the
yeah,
last 30 minutes, or within 30 minutes of you guys ending your set.
yep.
That is insane because these rooms that you guys are playing. I mean, you're packing what, maybe like anywhere between 800 to like 1,500 people in these rooms. So
Yeah, and
you're
Bad
getting more
Omens is
than
also
10% a good portion of the
Bad,
time.
Bad Omens is like doing a really cool favor for us of being like not not every band in the industry that headlines and does like a big thing like this does this, and I'm not saying it's like 100% like every band should do this because obviously their schedules and whatnot, but they've made it a point to have the doors open an hour before we play every night, no matter what, as like a homie favor, which is the nicest thing that any band has ever done for us. So we are like playing to like there has not been a night that we played for less than 1,000 people. Like it's and again we're playing at 6:30 like that, but that's a testament to A, they're just really fucking cool for doing that for us, and B, the people that are coming to these shows are just like really want to be there, so they're there early, which obviously we get to benefit like heavily from that. So
Oh, absolutely. That is a gigantic thing because if you're giving people an extra, because normally it's like, what, 30 minutes that they open
yeah,
up? And then
that's the standard, and sometimes it's even they'll say like, all right, doors 30 minutes before, or whatever, because we we're a small band still, like we've opened a million different things, and a lot of times 30 minutes we're like, oh, that's amazing, and as soon as they say 30 minutes, and then the venue like lags, and it ends up being like 17 minutes or something, and we're just like, cool, then you're only playing to like a chunk of the people, which is fine, like, and playing to anyone is like awesome, but dude, we're playing to like, I don't know, you can go on like the internet and just like look at pictures of us playing on this tour, and it's just there's just a sea of human beings every fucking night. It's very cool.
Yeah, I was messing around a little bit earlier today, just kind of checking some things out, checking some of the photos you guys have had online from this tour, and it looks like with you guys playing at 6:30, it looks like you guys are playing a headlining set to over 1,000 people in those photos, which is nuts.
It's like it's crazy, man. Like we knew this tour was gonna be big. We also were pretty sure that like if not most, or if not all of them, then at least most of the dates were going to sell out. But we thought it would be like the day of type sellouts. You know what I mean? Like we didn't know it was going to be just like, I think it was like a month before the tour even started. The whole thing was just X'd out, and there was like, I don't know. It's weird, man. It's trippy.
Yeah, because it wasn't just that either. It was like there were added dates, or there were dates where the venue got upgraded. Like for me in my hometown, Milwaukee, because like for the rave, they were putting them they're going to have you guys in the lower level. But because so many tickets were sold and the demand was sold, they're like, okay, we're moving you guys to the middle level. And then that one sold out. It's just like,
how many people just fits into the rave?
In the middle section, it'll probably be anywhere between 1,000 and 1,200.
Okay, cool. Fuck yeah.
So you guys will be playing to a good crowd. Trust me on that.
I'm excited. It'll be sick.
And when you see that pit open up, if you see some crazy dude in the middle of the pit wearing a Milwaukee Brewers hat, I can guarantee you that's me.
You. All right, wicked. We'll keep my eyes peeled.
Absolutely. Awesome. So another question around the tour is, when it came to getting on this tour, how did that all happen? Because I do remember before the pandemic hit, I had a ticket for you guys playing with Bad Omens at a small venue here in Milwaukee. It was like the first ticket that got canceled because of the pandemic. I held on that thing for 2 years before I got a relief, and I'm like, this thing might still happen, but it's still happening at some point, but just on a much grander scale. Thankfully.
That was the Killed and Born Again tour back in like 2019 or something like that. It was really crazy. It's also interesting to see that like, so that was the tour that we were on when the pandemic started, like whenever the whole world shut down, and just seeing like back then, like, that was like Bad Omens selling out like 400, 500, 600 cap rooms. And now it's like 4 times bigger than that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's sick. It's pretty tight.
It's awesome to see, because I think the room that you guys were supposed to play in here in Milwaukee was like a 250 cap room, and now it's like 1,250 cap room. Literally, it grew by 5 times in the span of 2 years and a pandemic worth, but woo! Damn.
Yeah. I also think it's like the perfect storm of bands too, within like just in this type of scene or whatever. Like, Bad Omens and Dayseeker, those are 2 of the bigger upper echelon bands in this world of like, I'll say it, I don't even know like post-hardcore is the word, like softer, like sad emo rock type, like shit like that. And I feel like we fit into that as well. And then Make Them Suffer is like obviously like the heavy band on the tour, and like the international thing to add on there to make it extra shiny. And then like whatever little like hole left of like the show not being 100% sold out, I guess we're like drawing a little sprinkle of people in there as well. Like we're pulling something. Not obviously we're not the reason why this thing is selling out. Bad Omens and Dayseeker, like, dude, you can see Dayseeker's last headliner thing, they sold out the whole thing. I think those were like 800 cap rooms or something like that. Like, and obviously this thing is massive. So it's just the perfect storm of like the right bands with, albums coming out and the right stuff going on, the right theme, the right fans. I don't know. It's just good shit, dude.
It's good shit, and it's another thing that is more positive, especially for the rock and metal scene, when we have bands that are starting, like, going on these tours that are relatively newer in terms of, they haven't been around for, 10 plus years at this point, or as well known for 10 plus years. Like, you're seeing now with this Bad Omens tour, you're seeing the whole entire thing sell out, and Bad Omens is only on their 3rd album, with their debut coming out in 2016. You've got Dayseeker, who's had 5 albums, and now look at what they're doing. Lorna Shore, once Will Ramos came into the fold, I mean, for a deathcore band selling out this stuff, and look at what Spirit Box is doing off of 1 album. It's just, it's fantastic to see now this like new crop of, bands that haven't been around for very long really starting to get a lot more recognition and have this new wave of, rock and metal that's going to be coming up that's going to be much more popular in the mainstream than what had been, or, constantly resting on the laurels of, the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah, yeah, and every band has their own like trajectory of things. Some people it pops quicker, some people it pops longer. Like Dayseeker, they've been grinding at this for dude. I did my first tour ever with Dayseeker. You know what I mean? In like my old band, so like seeing. It was their headliner. It was like I can't remember what the album was called, but it was just like like a very small, like not a lot of people type thing. And then just seeing it now, like those guys earned it for sure. Everyone on this tour has earned like what they got going on for them. And obviously some people get it quicker than others, just given like, the right label support or whatever. I think Bad Omens was a band that like kind of was started with help from Sumerian Records at the start. I think it was one of those like, people say like, oh, like industry plant or factory bands or whatever. I think it's totally fine that like a label helps develop the project. Like I said, our band was the same way. Like we didn't have a band name when Rise signed us. Like we were like the label helped us like create the band from the ground up type of thing. We had like our members and stuff like that, whatnot, and obviously like the funding is different and the plan is different. But to my knowledge, I think Sumerian Records was like very integrated with starting Bad Omens, so there was like a connected thing there.
So that's very interesting to hear, but at the same point in time, it's not the worst thing to hear in the world either, because it doesn't put them as an industry plan. It's just like, okay, there was a label that they got connected with that they signed to, and that label believed in them enough and believed in them so heavily where we have something here, so let's do what we can to put you in that position to be as good as you possibly can. And I mean, if the talent isn't there,
genius.
Then it's not going to happen.
I think it's, and obviously look at like the product that comes out, you know what I mean? Like think of like the product there is just 10 times better than like a bunch of people starting a local band and trying to like figure it out over the course of like 5 to 10 years, or whatever. Like, dude, just skip that whole step and like help them do it. And obviously like if you have the right guys in a band or whatever, like people that have like the image and have the mindset and the work ethic, like that's going to add to it. Was the perfect storm. But yeah, I know it's just all the bands are sick. They're awesome. I honestly hadn't even really like heard a Make Them Suffer song before. I don't really listen to heavy music, honestly. Like I don't listen to like any like screamo stuff or anything like that, but I hadn't heard a Make Them Suffer song before the tour. But like, I remember it was like night one and they walked on stage and I was like, damn. So I don't know, they're slamming also, and I don't know how long they've been around, but I think they're a little bit older than us. I'm pretty sure. I think they're like early 30s or something like that, but they're just still very like like in shape, alive, like taking good care of themselves and just like crushing it every night and putting on a very, very good show. So and you can see they're also drawing like a fuck ton of people to these shows also. Again, it's the perfect line.
It's the perfect blend where you have some of more of those like this, like kind of like the softer side of things, soft rock, some of the emo, some of the parts hardcore stuff really drawn in from Dayseeker. You have the heavy stuff coming in from Make Them Suffer, and Bad Omens just that massive, a much bigger band that can collect every bit of it. And you guys open it up, have the chance to collect all of that as well, and bring in some of your fans as well on top of that to really create more of that, full arching thing where everyone's going to these shows and everyone's having a blast every step of the way, where I mean you're getting just absolutely great music every step of the way. Every band, you're not missing out.
And you can see it too. Like I'll go like at the end of the night, like kind of just go on Twitter or whatever, Instagram, and see like, oh, like what shit do we get tagged in, like how are people feeling about the show. Like, dude, we're getting tagged in stuff that's people just being like, this show is like the highlight of my month. Like I'm so excited. Like people that are just like frothing for this day to come up, and then like at the end of the night being like, not just being like, oh, like only these two bands were good, or like, oh, this band was great tonight. People are just like, this was the perfect concert, like start to finish, like from the second the music started. And we're like, cool, we're like a part of this entertainment. Like it feels good. It's sick. It's fucking.
Oh, it absolutely has to. And at this point in the tour, I got to ask this question. What has been your favorite memory or favorite part of the tour up to this point so far?
I mean, okay, so last night was the first like fun night we had where everyone actually like went out and partied together, like all the bands and whatnot. For whatever reason, it took us until like tonight to actually. I think it's just like it's such a serious like big production that everyone is like obviously wants to just play it safe and not rage and take care of themselves and whatnot. But last night we all went out together. There's like this hilariously awful karaoke bar in Denver that we always go to after we play, and we just told everyone to go. Or excuse me, whenever we play in Denver, we go there, and we told everyone to go there, and they did, and that was sick. But my favorite moment was probably in terms of just like shenanigans or whatever. Our drummer got just absolutely plastered drunk the other night, and he was asleep in the main bench, and we were like just barreling down the highway, and we slid the van door open, like going down the highway, turned off all the lights, and we all just like started screaming, which going, ah! And he like woke up like to the door wide open, going 80 miles an hour down the freeway, and he just was so hammered and didn't know what was going on. He freaked out, and it was great. It was sick. But yeah, short of that, last night was nuts. Everyone just got like obliterated and was just doing like god awful karaoke and just like outside the bar drunk, like throwing snowballs at each other, and just it was chaos. It was a lot.
But those are the moments that, you're going to look back on this tour, and that's going to be like one of those things that you remember absolutely to the like most perfect spot that you can, where
that's my favorite thing. That's why I'm here, man. Like I love that stuff. Just like digging around. I don't know.
Yeah, James goes on tour just so that he can do bad karaoke and throw snowballs at people.
Yeah, I'm just here for like the shenanigans, like.
Well, sure. I mean, because you guys are about halfway through this at the recording this episode, so by the end of it, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some other shenanigans that happen, especially as you get towards the end of it, where usually I know from bands I've talked to, like the ends of those tours, that's when usually like some of those shenanigans get really going because the comfort level's there, everyone knows what they're doing. Yeah,
there's 2 days in New York City, and those days where you get to like leave your gear in the venue, so there's no like early load in, like those are the nights where everyone's just like, fuck yeah, we're gonna like get weird. I don't know, I'm excited. It's gonna be sick.
God, I'm pretty sure there might be some random like article on like Loudwire or Kerrang. It's like what happened on the Bad Omens tour after the first night of the New York show. It's just gonna be this random smearing of all four of the bands going out, just doing
everyone just like stuff. Corpsed out in fucking New York City somewhere, passed out on the floor. I don't know, I'll probably be in one of those pictures, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see what happens. If it is, I'm just gonna look and go, it happened.
Yeah,
it happened.
He warned me.
It's not he warned me. I'm just going to be like, it happened. I can't believe it. It actually happened. This is cool.
Yeah, New York City is going to do us dirty. But until then, I don't even know how many days that is. Maybe like a week and a half or something. 2 weeks. I don't know.
I was like, so if I remember correctly, I know it's in December. I'm not sure if it's like the first weekend in December or if it's closer to like when you guys actually release the album.
Yeah, I try not to look too far ahead in the schedule, especially with long tours. It's just really like... Tour is awesome, but man, like being away from home for like 7 weeks, it's like, fuck, bro.
Yeah, but hey, you'll be home for the holidays at least, so at least
the holidays Christmas will be lit. It'll be nice to just come home and have like instant Christmas vibes, but yeah.
Oh, it'll definitely be nice. I do want to jump into the album, though, as well, because, of course, we have the brand new album, Hell Finds You Everywhere, coming out on December 9th. You've got 3 singles out for it right now, and I was looking through the track list, and, of course, I looked at the title track and seeing that it was featuring Noah Sebastian of Bad Omens, and that was like, oh, that's damn cool. But then I kept going through it, and I got really excited to see that. I got to make sure I get the name of the track right. Next Time Around, featuring Matt Flood from Caskets. I was just like, that might be my favorite song on the record, even without seeing it, because Caskets, I love those guys. So when it came to this record, first off, with both of these features with Noah and Matt, how did these things come together? How'd you get these guys on these tracks?
Well, Noah's just like our friend. Like he's like, since the Killed and Born Again tour, we've been like pretty good friends, like on like a personal basis for Bad Omens. Our bass player works in their crew now. JB like works as like a regular day-to-day salaried member of their crew, so he's obviously very tight knit in there. And so the album we did it like in 3 parts. We did most of it at home, like ourselves, and then some of it we did with this guy named Zach Jones, so he produces like a bunch of stuff for people now. And then some of it we did actually at Noah's studio. Noah has a studio in LA, and so like that song, that was one of the songs. Wait, did I do that one? No. So that was actually one of the songs we didn't do at his studio. That was one of the ones we did vocals at my house. Like I have like a really nice vocal rig set up at home, and I had produced myself. But yeah, so that was actually a song that I did do at home. But some of the songs we did do at Noah's studio, like Shade, the song Shade and Clockwork Enemy, I did vocals for those at Noah's place, and Noah was like really integral in like building the soundscape of like vocal layers and harmonies for those songs. It's and they sound like unique. You can like tell, like with those songs, they kind of stick out a little bit in like, oh, this, you can tell like someone new worked on this. But yeah, I just like had that like a chunk open in that song, and I was like, just like popped up in the studio, and I was like, Noah, do you want to do this? And he was like, yeah. He's like, that'd be sick. And I didn't realize this actually. Like, this was something I didn't even know until like 2 weeks ago. He's never done a feature before. Like, this is his first like feature he's ever done for a band while being in Bad Omens, which is fucking pretty crazy. But yeah, that song's sick. Hellfind the title track, Hell Finds You Everywhere. And next time around with Matt, it was supposed to be a full Europe tour with them, but the Europe section got canceled because of COVID, and the UK was still open. So it was Normandy, us, and Caskets, and we became friends with them via that. And then it turned out like it was one of those things where we pulled up on the tour and we just assumed like only Normandy had vaguely heard of who we are, just enough to like bring us out. But it turned out Caskets was like pretty into our band. They were like, "Yo, you guys are sick," and we were like, "Wow, okay, cool." And they're really talented guys. They have like so much like good music. They just crush live every night. And we became buddies with them. And that was another one of those songs where it's like sometimes I'll be writing a song and I'll just kind of like I'll just be like, this is a song I want to feature on. Like I'll have that in my head from like the start of it, and I'll like leave a chunk open for with that thought in mind of being like, yo, it'd be cool to have someone on this. I know not everyone's like that. Some people will actually like do a whole song, and then when they want to have a feature, they'll like delete their part and make a part open. I will like leave shit open with people in mind. But I hit him up about it and was like, yo, do you want to do this? And Matt was like, yeah, I'm down. Obviously, he has to do that like remotely because he's from the UK. And then the Noah feature, that was, Noah has his own studio. Yeah, both of those songs are sick.
Oh, I'm looking forward to both of those. I did not know
Yeah.
that this was Noah's first like actual vocal feature on a
Yeah.
song since he's been in Bad Omens. That's especially with just again the rise that they've been going on, but not only that, but just the connection that you guys have with them being so closely connected. It's kind of like the perfect storm, and when people are gonna get their hands on this song, like that's gonna it's a massive draw to it where it's like, oh shit, we got to check this out, but. The fact that you already are working with these songs and when you're writing them, you have these features in mind. You're not just like throwing them in there as an afterthought. Yeah. It helps the song build around itself and helps you build the emotion around these songs so that when you have that vocal feature in mind, you're really going to be able to build it out. So you're going to play off that person's strength where it's going to maximize the emotional hitting of whatever song you're working on.
Yeah, both features were great. It was also really cool. Like in doing the feature, like some people just do like a part and then that's the end of it or whatever. And Noah like has his part and then he does these like cool accented glitchy ad libs at like the end of the song also. So he does like this full verse thing, which is awesome. And then it goes into the last chorus, which is like this big like epic thing with like different drums and whatnot. And then on like the little outro thing where I'm like, there's the line like hell finds you everywhere being like kind of reverberated back and forth at the end of the song, and Noah is kind of like has this glitchy background vocal where it's Noah going like hell finds you everywhere. Like it's cool. I don't know, it's sick. It's when it comes out you'll hear it. But yeah, he didn't just do like just a verse. There's like a full thematic like little like sprinkles and stuff there at the end. But yeah, that song's fucking sick. It's like by far our coolest like opener track we've ever had. Because the past two records, I feel like their albums just started. It was just like the first record. I think Sinking Me is the first song. Yeah, it's just like all right, here's a banger. And the same thing with like our first record. It's just like our second record. It's just like here's a banger at the gate. This one, like I was like, I want to have an intro and a start to like a beginning theme or whatever. And the song like starts out kind of slow, and then it's just this like goes right into this like me doing these like epic loud vocals, but it's like more of like a story paragraph type thing. I don't know. It's fucking sick. I love that song. I wanted it to like get like a video or whatever, but then obviously doing like feature videos is really complicated. And so we were like, all right, let's just let it stand alone. But I think that song, the Hell Finds You Everywhere song, is probably gonna end up as our like set opener for like the rest of the obviously like Noah's not going to do that because he's not in our band. But it's well, I'll probably have Josh just sing like the feature part, but that's definitely going to be probably like the opener of our set for a while to come.
That's going to be something I'm looking forward to. It not only just listening to the song and hearing it as the opener of the album and then going into the 3 singles you guys have already released, but just hearing how it's going to open this album and really start out. Because I like from before listening to the singles, like Sinking Me was my favorite song by you guys.
Oh, yeah.
But then of course listening to the singles, I'm like, okay, let's see what's going out the singles so far. Is there anyone that sticks out to me? And for me, it's Face to Face. That was the one that got me just like, boom, I'm into this even more so. So I can't wait for the rest of the album. Yeah. And just, it's going to be something that's just thinking about it. Instead of just opening up the album like, okay, boom, here it is. It's now you're bringing people into it. You're opening it up. You're really bringing it in as this is going to be an experience. This is going to be a thing you're going to want to be a part of, not just who's ready to go fucking crazy because I am.
We also like thought it was like kind of we were like, oh, it's sort of a flex to have like a feature on the first song, like a big feature. You know what I mean? We were like, someone did bring up, someone was like, is it weird to have the first song have a feature? And we were like, okay, this is like someone who's like a close friend of ours, has been integral in like helping us make the record. You know, like this person has given our band like 2 really awesome opportunities. They offered us a third thing, but they offered us to do Europe as well, but I couldn't do it. So we couldn't do it. And then, you know, this is like someone who's like a part of, not like a part of the band, but like, you know, he's a part of our lives, and he helped make the record, and he's given this band like some of our biggest opportunities we've ever had. So we're like, of course, like it's not weird at all to have a feature in the first song, and it's just such a great opener song, and it's one of those things where like when people start our album, like once that, you know, that song plays and they're just like, fuck, this is gonna be like an experience, you know. And then the Matt feature, the song Next Time Around, that song is like, obviously like Caskets is like a little bit more like us in the way it's like emotionally driven, like sad, slow music, and that song is just like really sad and depressing. And Matt's feature on that is like, both of them, they just like bodied me on my own songs, which is just like a theme. Every time we have someone like do a feature, they just like make me look like shit, which is hilarious. But yeah, Matt's feature is fucking brilliant. And also the song with the Matt feature on it, that was the first song we did for the album. Weirdly enough, like I was just doing it, and I was kind of like, I didn't think it was obviously going to be like the beginning track, because it's not. But we were doing it, and I was kind of just like, I like made it like halfway through the song, and I started working on something else, and then like once I was wrapping it up, I was like, weirdly, this feels like a feature song to me, and even though it was the first song. But yeah, he killed it, man.
That's another one I can't wait to hear, just because with thinking about your vocal set and what Matt's vocal set is able to bring to the table, it's when it comes to bringing out that emotion that you guys will bring out, like there's definitely a huge similarity that's going to end up happening. And from hearing Caskets from their Lost Souls album, especially, and along with Guiding Light, which they just recently came out with, like that just brings so much more power to, if this is going to be one more of those, you know, hard-hitting, sadder songs, what's going to happen with your vocals? And then if you're saying Matt bodied you on this song, how over the top is this going to be in terms of just hitting us as heavy as possible? So, I mean, you're getting me all amped up, and like, can this album come out now? Because I kind of want to listen to the whole thing.
I'm excited, and also like those 2 songs, like I'm really excited for, but like those aren't like it's kind of funny. Like my favorite song on the album is the last one. It's called All I Have Left to Give. It's me and our guitar player Josh's favorite songs. He wrote the instrumental for that one, and he like almost scrapped it too. He does like Twitch streaming, and he was like doing like, I'm gonna write a song on stream today. And when we were like making the album, and he just started like writing that song or whatever, and halfway through he was just like, I don't know if this is it. I don't know if that's that sick. And I was watching a stream, and I texted him, and I was like, finish that fucking song, dude. I was like, that shit's so sick. And it's another like, it's really sad, but it has probably like, I think it's the best 1,000 Below song we've ever made. Like it just like it perfectly encaptures like our sound and what, at least like what I want the band to be. Like that song is, in my eyes, like flawless for what that I think 1,000 Below is, existing in like the, you know, the soundscape of just like where bands sit in the scene or whatever the fuck. Like when people are like, oh, like what does your band sound like? I'm gonna use that as like the perfect that I'm like, this is what I want our band to be for. Obviously it's not like it's not like a single or anything like that. It doesn't have that structure or whatever, but it is like definitely my best and proudest work for sure. It's sick. It's so good.
God damn. I mean, we like everyone's heard the singles already. That you can. I mean, I know you guys have been playing a good amount of them live, and now we're talking about, you know, the Titra song. We know we're talking about Next Time Around with Matt, and then we're talking about your favorite song on the record, which is the last one, All I Have Left to Give. And considering it the like quintessential 1,000 Below song up to this point, at least. Yeah. And then having it at the end of the album, I'm going to be the biggest proponent of this when it comes to the new album from 1,000 Below. this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to find a time to just focus in on this album. Like, really focus in.
That was the point.
And top to bottom. Just listen to it top to bottom and just get lost in it.
Yeah, we didn't want it, like, and there's no wrong way to do a record. Some bands like doing an album where they're like, hey, let's just get 10 fucking bangers. Like, I think like there's there's like a couple Bring Me records that were kind of like that. And again, like, I love it top to bottom, but they're just like, it's not really like this like big long connected story experience. It's more just like, here's 10 of the sickest songs that you're gonna hear this year, which is fine. But with this, we were like, let's make this something that like you don't want to stop once you start going. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that, like, you know, a lot of people said like our first record was a lot better than the second record, which I honestly think that's true. I think in terms of like setting a story and like just like a mood and whatnot, the second album was us being like, okay, can we write like rock songs and stuff like that, which is fine. You know, like, we're figuring ourselves out. But I think this is going to be the one where, like, I think a lot of people are constantly asking like, oh, can 1,000 Below beat The Love You Though Too Close? You know what I mean? Can they beat like whatever that was just coming out the gate? And I think that this is going to be the one where people are like, this band's a real band. Like they are a thing, I guess.
Yeah, and when it comes to those other two albums as well, because I like the first one more than the second one personally, so I'm kind of on that same. Everyone does. That same wavelength. It's just any band. I mean, you could come out with two albums. You know, people are gonna like one over the other. It's just gonna happen. I mean, when you have a choice between two, you can only pick one. One's gonna get picked more than the other. It's just gonna happen. But when it comes to this one, when it comes to this brand new album, I want to make sure I don't fuck up the name because it's just escaping my head right now.
No,
Give me a second. Hell Finds You Everywhere. Thank you for writing it down because I was going to lose my mind. But just really being able to understand it and just dive into it. And with you guys growing as songwriters, growing as people as well, to understand, really have a lot of time to work through this during the pandemic, go from top to bottom and just fully flesh out this whole entire emotion, all the story-driven stuff that you want to drive so that it connects from one song to the next. So you get to that point where you're running through this album and you get to like song number 4 and you just don't want to put this down because now you're so invested into this whole entire experience. You want to know how it ends. It's like reading a good book or watching a good TV series. Listen to albums the same thing. If you're just that encapsulated with it, just let it run. Just make sure you're in a present state of mind to do it. Put your phone all the way to the side. Don't be scrolling through Twitter or Instagram or whatnot. Don't be, scrolling through TikTok while you're trying to, listen up. No, just get fully immersed in it. Honestly, just go for a drive for like 45 minutes and just listen to this whole entire thing. You're going to be present for it the whole entire way. Yeah.
We also if you spread the, like, most bands will only do like 1 or 2 features or whatever. And we did do 3 on the record, but they're all so different from each other. And we kind of used it as like it's like they're spread out. So it kind of creates this like, like you hear the first song and then the first feature, like, all right, that was fucking sick. And then you get to Matt's thing, you're like, that was dope. And then there's like another one with this artist, his name's Avi, but his like band is called Cult. They're from Japan. And he was someone randomly told me that he was like a fan of our band, and they showed me they're like, you would like this. And I checked out Cult and I was like, this is amazing. I was like, this is so fucking good. And he's on he's on like the trippy song of the album. There's a song called Blue Roses Don't Fade that's like this it's almost like this like disco like late night drive. Like it's the weirdest thing our band's ever done, for sure. It's not like a regular 1,000 Below song. It's like almost like dancey. Like you can almost like dance to it. And there's like a kind of like lightly like almost like EDM-ish like build and a dance drop type thing. I don't know how to describe it, but it's also sad at the same time. And then so his thing is like he does the last minute of the song, and then a half of his feature is like in Japanese also. It's sick. It's like, yeah. Which again, like, it's just like we wanted all the features to be like good and unique and like have some interesting texture to it. And he hit me up when he was doing the feature. He's like, hey, do you mind if I do part of it in Japanese? I was like, dude, you're like from Japan. Like, of course I was like, you live there. Like, of course you can do that. Like, flex, bro, do your thing. Yeah, he speaks fluent English, Italian, and Japanese, and he's like a really cool, interesting person. His band is so fucking good too. But yeah, his feature is awesome. It's like me doing this like chippy singing stuff over this like disco-y, almost like dancey, almost EDM-ish song, and then like it has the drop. And then like he comes in at the end and he's like, he does like sort of, he's like the nothing nowhere of Japan, sort of like he like kind of raps a little bit. So he's like rapping in Japanese and then doing this like loud singing. And so it's so cool, man. It's fun. It's fucking sick.
All right. The thing I've kept thinking about the whole entire time during this was I remember right before, like right when the album was announced, maybe it was like a week afterwards, good old
Yeah.
Mr. Alan Harrington on Twitter was talking about, all the albums that's coming out with like album of the year, and it was when it comes to late release for 2022, he's like, there's nothing else on the schedule right now, nothing. But Thousand Below's record might be a thing that leaps into the top 10 out of nowhere for the end of the year. I mean, now that we're talking about it, we've heard the single so far, we're talking about the titular song, which features we're talking about Matt's feature. We're talking about your friend in Cult's feature, and then now we're talking about All I Have Left to Give with being the quintessential Thousand Below song.
Yeah.
He might be he might have brought that up, but now I'm starting to absolutely believe it just from this. Like, this is nuts. I mean, I'm feeling energized, but it's like you guys might just overtake this.
we also we wanted the album to come out on this tour. Obviously, we're like, this is the biggest club tour of like fall, right? Like that, there's no one else that's like doing numbers like this in these type of bands. So we're like, this is the perfect stage to drop this record, obviously. And then we also realized, we're like, yo, let's have it be like quite literally the last release of the year. So it's just like people, there is music industry shutdown at the end of the year where like pretty much everyone that works in the music industry goes on vacation from like December 14th to like January 10th. It's like 3 weeks of like no one responds to a fucking email, no one will help you with anything. But we were like, hey, let's just have our album be the last thing that comes out this year, and people will just like, and it's like the holidays, it's cold, daylight saving times kick back in, so it's fucking dark early. Everyone has like seasonal depression and shit, like we were like, let's have this be the thing, like the most, like the last thing that drops on the state in like the center stage of the scene while the holidays is like kicking in, and there's gonna be nothing else coming out for the next like 3 weeks. So it's kind of like the way we viewed it, our manager was kind of like, hey, I don't know if that's the best idea because of like industry shutdown. And we were like, no, dude, like nothing else is going to like come and like steal the thunder. It's not going to be like we drop and then a week later, some other bands, it's like we are the last thing that comes out before the holidays. So I think it's just going to give people like at least like a month to really sink in with the album. So yeah, that was like a by design thing. We're pretty excited about that.
Another thing that adds to it too is, again, given the tour that you're on with Bad Omens, with how massive a tour this is, I'm not even gonna say it's the biggest club tour of the fall of this year. I'm saying it's the biggest club tour of this year, given just how massive it is, how impactful it is, and just how much people are just diving into this thing. And people are trying to find tickets on the resale market, and they're even having trouble doing that.
Yeah, you can't.
But the biggest thing is with you guys coming out with it on that day too is, it's towards the end of the tour, but at that point in time, I mean, you guys, it's like right around, I think it's right around those New York dates, and I think that, isn't Bad Omens doing like a stream of their set during that,
I think we're doing it also. I think we're also having like the live stream thing. I don't exactly, I'm pretty sure, I remember seeing something about that.
And it just adds so much more too, because now it's like, okay, people are being able to live stream this thing. They're able to see you guys. The internet's able to see you guys. They're able to see how these songs are going to perform and how they're going to perform alongside the crowd as well. And it's going to be continually in the mindset of fans. So it's weird where it's like, could it be a little bit tough because it's coming out right down that industry shutdown time? Maybe. But just given all the circumstances leading up to it, it puts you guys in the perfect position to release that album so that when people are going into the shutdown period, people are going to the end of 2020, people are going to Christmas, New Year's, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The focus is going to be on, what was best for all of 2022. And your album is fresh, but it's continually in their minds going forward.
Also, so there's a lot of like music industry theories of like people that work in the music industry or theories that people have that I like disagree with. And some people are like, oh, like, don't put out your album at that time. Like, it's like the industry shutdown happens for a reason. No one's going to be doing you any favors. And it's like, I'm more of the mindset of nothing else is coming out after it. So people are going to sit with it. And then the other thing is like, oh, people get distracted by the holidays. It's like, bro, on the holidays, you're like, people take the most time off work. People listen to music the most of the time, drive around in their car. They're like driving to the mall, buying gifts, going to family functions, like it's time off. It's like, it's free time. And music is something that people consume leisurely. It's not like it's like a scheduled work type thing. So I was like, dude, this is like the best time to drop a record. And again, it's cold, dark, seasonal depression, like all that type of shit. So I don't know. I think I think it's like the perfect storm of like success for us, like on being on this big ass fucking tour that we were just like so blessed to be on and being able to put the record out there. That's so many people that are going to find out about it. The timing, like I could be wrong. I don't think any bands have anything coming out in December. I haven't seen a single announcement of anything. I think there's a couple bands dropping like. Well, no, it was like a week ago, I think. I don't know, but yeah, I think we kind of have the stage set for us for the next few weeks. So
yeah, I think the last big release date was the 18th because that was like I think we had like those the day Disturbed dropped their album.
Yes,
My friends
yeah.
Saying the Canvas dropped their album, and I absolutely love that one, so I wanted to give a shout out to them. But when it comes to like anything else going on, like I couldn't think like if you asked me for another album that's coming out through the rest of the year at the point where we're recording this right before Thanksgiving, I couldn't give you one outside of yours.
Yeah.
Like it's stuck in my head. And I do understand where people are coming from, where it's just like, you know, looking at like what happens after you release the album with the industry shutdown. It does seem like, you know, not the best thing, but you're playing it to where, yeah, nothing else is coming out. So what else are people going to be able to latch onto that's new? But the biggest key for that is something that you said where take a look at what's happening leading up to it is what's leading up to it able to, you know, push that to the point where when it releases, this is going to be the focus on people's minds. This massive tour is that big thing, especially with how big it is. It's the perfect storm for it. And again, there it is. And people can only listen to Mariah Carey's Christmas music for so long before going mad.
Yeah. Like I'm hoping like, you know, people work in like retail or something like that, you know, they'll be like, yo, I'm going to put something else on, you know, like, and I don't know. I just think it's like the perfect setup of us just being like, here's the album. And it's like you know, it's, in my head, I'm like, oh, we're fucking super geniuses. You know, this is great. Also, like, it's kind of cool. Obviously, like, you can always argue as time goes on, it's technically the biggest, every day is the biggest your band has ever been, right? Because there's growth. But in terms of us, like, announcing this whole thing, I've never seen so much, like, internet response of, like, wanting and waiting for us to drop something ever. Like, I went back and, like, scrolled through, like, our social posts of when we were announcing Gone in Your Wake and stuff like that, and it was just like the interaction was like a fraction of what we're getting right now. So I think we're also, and again, we've been touring for a long time now, the band's existed for a minute, so I think that this is like our time to where like things are gonna it's just gonna come together. I feel like everything's just gonna like lock in right when this album drops, when the tour's gonna end, the album's gonna be out, it's gonna sink in, and then we have another tour, which like I can talk about this now given the time frame that this is coming out. But we're going on tour with Nothing More and Crown the Empire in April. So yeah, pretty excited about that. It's gonna be fucking stoked. So the album will have like set in by then. And we also like as of like a month ago, we started working on a couple singles, or excuse me, a month before the tour, we started working on a couple singles with Josh Gilbert, the bass player of Spirit Box. He like produces stuff, so we're like already working on new music, so we might like have a new song out on that Nothing More tour as well. So like it's just going to be like we have like fall for the record to sit in, so we have like, you know, December, January, February, March, and then like beginning of April we'll probably drop like another song. Like that's like, you know, after like 4 months of the record sitting in. So yeah, it's just like good, it's all good shit right now for Thousand Below. I feel like this is where it's gonna click, you know.
I mean, just given the trajectory of where you guys have been on since, you know, since the tour started, since the album got announced, and now the fact that I'm going to have to make sure my April is going to be somewhat open so that I can make sure I hit one of those dates, because seeing Nothing More live and seeing Crown the Empire live, very, 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 very fun time.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to put you guys on there too?
Yeah.
Ooh! It
was like such like a wait, we don't really know anyone in Nothing More or whatever. It was just like a kind of like a homie favor from the owner of our label. He knows the person that books them, and he was in contact with them, and it was like we like almost didn't get the tour. It was like a last second. I know the slot got offered to I think a couple other people that for whatever reason said no, and I know it's going to be like a big tour. It was just like little like last minute disagreements or whatever, and we got the slot at like the last second. And we just figured that out like a couple days ago. We were like, fuck yeah. And obviously like when this comes out, I think that will already be public information, hopefully. Because given the we're announcing that probably 2 days before whenever this is supposed to come out, so we're square.
Oh, perfect. Thank God. Because if you're not, then I'm like, I'm gonna have to edit this thing out, and then it's gonna be weird.
I mean, even if it doesn't, like, who fucking cares? Everyone will just be like, you're in trouble, Jimmy, whatever. Like, be
like, okay, whatever. But it seems like with everything that's going on with you guys, it seems like everything's just happening. Everything's coming together. So you need to get like that, go back to the 80s, watch the A-Team, just get a cigar in your mouth. Like, I love it when a plan comes together.
Dude, literally, it's like exactly that, man. It's like, and then also, like, on top of that, too, we, like, are just now, for the first time ever, getting booked, like, a little bit in like the festival circuit. Like I don't know too much about the festival world or whatever, but we already have like 2 big festival offers for next year. It's like it's all these things are momentum based. Like being in a band is this. It's like the snowball. Like you start the band and it's this tiny little fucking chunk of snow. And it grows a little bit, and all of a sudden, like it gets big and big, and all of a sudden it just starts barreling down the hill. And that's all of our friends in bigger bands. That's how they tell us that it works. And I feel like we're about to start really picking up some snow, if you will. So
it's like the snowball's big enough and the hill is steep enough where you guys are just going to start rolling. And and kind of like think about it too is you guys already just got kicked down the hill with this whole entire tour with how massive it is, with how many people you're connecting with every single night. All of a sudden the album's going to drop. Now things are going to pick up speed, pick up some more snow. So by the time, 2023 hits, or by the time, maybe 2024 rolls around, all of a sudden your snowball ends up knocking over a bunch of other things in the way. Like there's a snowman in the way trying to stop, and it's just like, no!
Yeah. It just feels like it's good. It's like every couple days and since this tour started, I've just woken up to like good news or some cool thing, like a dope text from our agent or something like that or whatever. And then even just like being on this tour that we're on right now, like it was just like it's like such a blessing in the way that like the tour was originally booked as 3 bands, and then like Bad Omens like carved out the 4th slot for us, like just as like a homie favor. We were we're friends, and we were like, hey, we want to be a part of this, but we're going to put out an album on the tour. Like, like whatever, if there's that last little gap of like 5, 10, 20, 30 tickets need to be sold, like we will fill that, you know what I mean? And so they like as like a homie favor carved out that 4th slot for us at last second too. It was like the tour was already booked and whatnot. It was like about to get announced, and we like hit them up and they were like, all right, yeah, like get in here. We're like, all right, let's do it, dude. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I just feel like we also like consequently, opposite of like what's happening in the past like few months and in the upcoming future. I feel like the band has been kind of unlucky. Like we had a lot of opportunities slip through our grasps. We had a couple people leave the band. We had like a couple bad, like just unlucky things with agents and like management and stuff. Just like a million things went wrong. We made a lot of like just what I would consider like very large business mistakes, just things that were just like astronomical fuck ups that we should like never have done. But you live and you learn. So I feel like the scale has kind of bounced back to like, it's all coming up W's right now. So
and let's let it keep coming up W's right now, because you guys have gone through enough of the bad luck stuff. Let's let the good luck stuff just keep rolling. Let's let that snowball roll down the hill, and all those bad decisions that you made in the past, those bad business decisions, all those bad luck things. Those would be those snowmen there at the bottom of the hill that snowball's gonna end up crushing, and basically absorbing. And it's gonna be winter violence.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, seasonal depression, winter snowball violence. Yeah, that's
that might cure seasonal depression if you guys are feeling it at any point in time. Just seeing that snowball just keep going and going and going. I mean,
yeah, man,
it's got to happen. Well, man, as we bring this podcast to its conclusion, because I know it's your day off, I want to make sure you get going.
No, I appreciate it. We're gonna keep driving, keep trekking towards Minneapolis, and then coming to you. So
hell yeah. So as we bring it to a conclusion, one thing I would like to do is give you who's my guest a chance to say whatever you want to say, plug whatever you want to plug, promote whatever you want to promote at the end of the episode. So James, the floor is yours.
Okay, pretty much like, well, everyone checking this out, just give Hell Finds You Everywhere a listen. It's the best thing we've ever done. It's fucking great. And then also just the super, super mega heartfelt thank you to Bad Omens for everything that they have offered to us and given to us. Like, that band has given us so many opportunities, and just the fact that we get to be on this tour and playing to all of their awesome fans is like the sickest thing ever. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Check out the record, and thank you, Noah.
that is a great point too. So, check out the record, and also give the thanks to Bad Omens, and also thank you, Noah. But now it's time for me to end this podcast with 3 specific things. So Hell Finds You Everywhere by 1,000 Below comes out on December 9th. You're not gonna want to miss out on this. If you listen to this conversation, you're gonna be like, oh, or even saw them play live on the Concrete Jungle Tree, like, oh my god, I must listen to this whole entire thing. And you're gonna want to follow along with them on all their social media, because this snowball just keeps building. You want to follow along with all this stuff. You want to know what happens, and then Crown the Empire, Nothing More tour. You want to get tickets for that as well. You're going to want to buy some merch as well to support these guys, because that sounds like a good idea. How are you going to do that? Description of the podcast. Like, find 1,000 Below online. There'll be links for all their socials, links where you can watch YouTube videos, links where you can stream the new album, links where you can find them online. and where you can get tickets and get merch. Links will be there. Labels will be there. All you have to do is click the link, go, and you are set and ready to go. So go make sure you do that because I'm making sure I do that too if I haven't already, which I probably should have. But if I haven't, I'm making sure I do it. All right, now time for number 2, James. Every guest on the podcast, I enjoy having the podcast. I tend to make a certain promise as a way to say, 1, thank you for taking the time to be on the podcast, and 2, I would like to continue to support the band in any way I can. And everyone pretty much hits on this, and this is a no-brainer that you hit on this. And funny enough, I can actually give you like a day of when I can make this promise come true, which will be
sick.
2 days after we record this episode, because I will be seeing you guys perform live with Make Them Suffer, Dayseeker, and Bad Omens. So James, on that day, because I'll be at the show, supporting you guys, supporting the whole entire tour, my promise to you is this. I got to find you at some point because first round's on me.
Let's go, man. I'm down. Do you like green tea shots? Have you ever had one of those?
I never have.
It's Jameson, peach schnapps, and then either they do a little bit of like sweet and sour mix or like Sprite, and it's like cold. It's fucking amazing. We'll have one of those. They're great.
We'll do it. After your set, if you got like run back to the merch table or something, I'll run back there. I'll find it'll be like,
yes,
we're doing this. Because I think if I'm correct, where they're going to set up your merch table is going to be literally right by the bar.
Amazing. Love that.
So we're already set, we're ready to go.
It's just perfect streamlining. That's awesome.
The perfect streamline of it. Well, James, as we bring this fully to inclusion, I cannot say goodbye for a number of reasons. 1, man, from recording this, I'm going to see you in 2 days. So yeah. Goodbye. Secondly, I don't want this to be the only time we ever do a podcast, man. I would love to have you back on in the future. Yeah. So this can't be goodbye, my friend. This has to be. I'll see you later.
All right.
Well, folks, that was my interview with James the band 1000 Below. Once again, 1000 Below has their brand new album coming out on December 9th called Hell Finds You Everywhere. So you're going to want to go and make sure you're listening to that when it comes out. Yes, I know this episode's coming out the day before it comes out. So if you're listening on the day of this release of the episode, yeah, go pre-save it. If you're not, just go listen to it right now and make sure you listen to it from top to bottom and really get into it because you gonna like it. So go script for the podcast says Find 1000 Below Online. You can follow them on all their social media platforms. You can watch YouTube videos. You can stream the album, listen to them, buy them, download them, buy some merch from the band, and of course, tour with Nothing More and Crown the Empire coming up. You want to get tickets for that? Ooh, yeah, go to the description of the podcast. It's right there for you. Oh, yeah, get those tickets because you know I'm going to be there for one of those dates. I can't say no to that. So please go support 1000 Below because their snowball just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's going faster and faster down that hill. You're going to want to join in on that. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the Chord Progression Podcast. You can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Please hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube watching these interviews. Or, if you're just listening, Spotify, Podcast, Radio, Amazon, or any other place where you're streaming this podcast, go and hit that subscribe button because it helps us out tremendously. Think of it as like a Merry Christmas, Kevin, gift if you haven't already subscribed. If you're already subscribed, a gigantic thank you to you because we're just going to keep rolling and having a good time with this. I also want to thank FNX Fitness for sponsoring this podcast. 20% off and tips off using the code CPP20 at checkout at xfit.com. Thank you guys at Phoenix Fitness. And again, I want to thank James from 1000 Below for coming on the podcast. This was a lot of fun. This is very insightful, and we just had a great time, man. And by the time this podcast hits, I've already seen that show live. Like, we literally shot this one 2 days before I was going to see that show. It was going to be a throwdown. I can't wait. But by the time this comes out, I already have done it, so. Woo! Alrighty, that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you for watching, listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one of the big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah!